testing. Willow does love it. Well, charcoal. I've got the paint. I haven't tested it. I hope it's okay. We'll soon see. I just thought I'd update you first though on a few things. So, I don't think we ever confirmed that we'd actually sold the van. So the van's gone. I know. It was such a shame. It would have been lovely to have put it on YouTube as doing it up. It was going to be a money pit. So yeah, we had someone come down to have a look at it, and he actually knew his stuff. He was a mechanic and he specialised in VWs, and he knew what he was looking at, and actually was a very honest person. Mike already knew. They were able to have an honest conversation about what needed doing, and that was a good thing, because what you don't want is someone come down and say yes, I'll buy it, and then later call you and say, well, this is wrong, that's wrong, this is wrong. Because he was a mechanic, he was able to have a really good look at it, fully understand what needed doing, and we came to a good deal. He also had his 13-year-old son with him, who reminded me of my son. Had really long hair, bit of probably a music festival kind of lad, and he fell in love with the lad, with the van, and I knew immediately it was going to the right family, and that they would absolutely love and adore it and do it up properly. So it wasn't a case of he was taking the van to do it up and sell it. He really wanted to do it up, and I think it's going to be a project for him and his son, which will be lovely, and they'll go and have family trips, and the van will actually get used for what it should be get used for. It should be used, it should be loved, and it should be you know, taken care of, and lots of TLC, and get to go out and about. I know that sounds silly, but it's nice to know that it's gone to a family who are absolutely going to adore it and get some proper use out of it. So that was an update on the van. There'll be a couple of other updates that I'll remember along the way. I'm due a health check. Oh, I hate these, but I am due a health check. I've sort of had one, but it wasn't a full one. Anyway, I found while I'm at work, I do a 40-hour week, and it is proper full 40-hour, and that's fine. It's quite intense because it's all laptop. It is staring at the screen constantly, and I'm finding that when I come away, I'm feeling a little bit sick, so my eyes are struggling to refocus. My normal sight glasses, my distance glasses, don't work with the screen, because I need reading glasses as well. So office environment glasses are very different apparently, and the optician was explaining this to me, is that it's very specific, so that I do need the varifocals, so when I'm looking at the screen I can see without my eyes straining, and then when I look down at the keypad or at my notepad or something else, I can also see, so I'm not constantly, my eyes aren't constantly trying to refocus on something else in the distance. That's what's making me feel a bit ick. So my eyes are straining to try and refocus. It's taking a little bit going. I'm getting headaches. So I've had my eye test. So there's a couple of other things. I've been having an issue in this eye, and I mentioned this ages ago. It was a little infection that just kept coming back, and it kind of just sits there, and what it is it's a little tiny gland. There is a name for it, but he said at the moment it's tiny, it's mild. I don't really need any drops or antibiotics, but if it doesn't clear up, I will. So this is what I've got to use for a while. It's a dry eye kit because you know, you stare at the screen like that all day. You forget to blink, and I do get dry eyes, and I rub them, and my fingers are being on the keyboard, and you know, it just all day I'm getting this tiny little infection in that eye. Nothing serious, but I've got this little kit. It's a heat pack, cleanse and hydrate. So I'm to do that at the end of every day when I've finished work, just to refresh my eyes and give myself a break. Or maybe, you know, halfway through the day, maybe lunchtime. So I've got that. I haven't opened it up and had a look at it yet. But yeah, I've got one of those. He noticed something in my eyes, which I will admit I've seen it, and I wondered, has it already always been there, or was it new? How much notice do you take to your eyes? So there's a pale band that's going around the outer rim of my eye, of my iris. And I thought maybe it was a little bit of my aging, but he said, no, you're a little bit too young for that. He said it's a sign of high cholesterol, and I should go and get a full women's health well-being check. I hate my blood's being done. I hate it. I have to have somebody with me. I get more anxious as it's coming up to it, and there's reasons for all of that, childhood trauma. But I've got to have that done, get my cholesterol. I am hoping that this new diet reset that I'm on is actually going to help me lose the weight. I've made some other changes as well. That's for another video completely. I'll go into that on another one. But I am getting back in my YouTube channel, as we're moving away from DIY and finishing the house. I am going back to the original, what my channel was all about, which is lifestyle, and a lot of that is about my health and my weight and menopause and getting through that. I've had to close the window because people are cutting the grass. It's a Saturday. I should have got the fan. I had my fan on me all night. You'll all know it's a very hot weekend this weekend. We've got some hot weather coming. I think the grass cutter's stopped, so I am going to open the window and let a little bit of wind in. Just a second. Because I'm hot all the time. Anyway, I'm still having the heat waves. They are so uncomfortable. I thought I was coming out of the end of menopause, but these heat waves are the last thing that seem to be hanging on in there. Oh, they drive me mad, particularly during the night. But I've got this brand new fan, and it's really ultra quiet, and it's lovely. So that's working. It's helping me stay cool during the night. So that was where I'm up to with my health. I will let you know when I've had my bloods done. It takes a while because I've got to pre-book it so that I've got somebody with me, which is going to be Kerry, and she's got to book time off. So, and then you know how it is with doctors and trying to get an appointment, and they want you to ring on the same day. Well, I can't do that because I've got to book time off myself. So I'm going to have to kind of jiggery-pokery that about and see if I can get the blood test booked in advance so I can get time off and Kerry can get a little bit of time off. Not that she should take her precious days off to be with me, but I do have to have somebody with me afterwards, after having my bloods done, and being an absolute big fat baby. I feel really queasy and a little bit unsteady on my feet, so I do need somebody with me. So that's my health thing. Anyway, I think that was it on my health update. The business. I'll talk to you a little bit about the sewing business. No, I know, I want to talk about something else first. Something really nice and exciting. Well, the business is exciting, but yeah, I went to Scarborough. I wore my dress. I was very comfortable. I had my lemon jacket on. My lemon jacket came off, it was too warm. But I went to Scarborough. Now, I've got a subscriber who was going to Scarborough and she was going to be in Scarborough that day. And she did say, well, if I see you, I'll say hello. She saw me. It was surreal. It was so odd. Because, of course, I was never going to be able to recognise her. I wouldn't recognise any of you. I know you to talk to, well, to write to. But in terms of sight. Of course I wouldn't. So I was relying on her spotting me, and she spotted me by my dress because she'd seen the try and she knew what dress I was going to wear for Scarborough. So she spotted it and she came and said hello. And of course I turned round and she said, "It's me, Gail." It's like, ah. It was so lovely, so lovely. We didn't talk for long, but it was, you know, just she'd had a really nice time. She'd been to Whitby, and then the next day she was going to York. So Gail, I hope York was lovely. I hope you had a lovely day out. I hope you had a lovely holiday. Yeah, comment to me. I wish I'd have had my camera with me, but I didn't take it because my friends aren't particularly, they don't particularly want to be on my YouTube channel. So I wouldn't have been able to really video anything other than Scarborough, and you've seen a lot of Scarborough. So, but I'm sorry I didn't have my camera with me, because it would have been nice to do a little tiny shot of me meeting Gail, my subscriber, who's been with me right from the beginning, just by the way, all the way through. And life's happened, you know, and some stuff's happened to her that's been pretty awful. And it was nice to see her happy. She's this tiny little pretty thing, really petite. I just turned around and there's this little petite pretty thing saying, "I'm Gail." She's so lovely. And she bought Willow a gift. She said, "In case I saw you, I hope you don't mind, I got Willow a present, a toy. I'll have to show you it. Hang on." Should have been more prepared for that, but look at that. It's got little tennis balls for feet. Oh, it's so cute. Little tennis balls. It's a giraffe. She loves it. It's been on our bed for the past 3 nights. Is it 3 nights? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, 3 nights. Been on our bed. And she chews away on the balls. Yeah, she loves it. Isn't that sweet? It's a good one. It's one of the Kong ones, so it's meant for dogs. Sometimes she has toys, probably maybe not really meant for dogs, and within seconds she's pulled the stuffing out and the squeak's gone out of it. Listen. I won't do it too loud because she's fast asleep on the bed, and if she hears it, it'll wake her up. But that's, thank you, Gail. Willow does love it. Love that. Yeah, so that was really nice. Yeah, a little bit odd, a bit surreal in my head, because it's not something, you know, you have your subscribers, and you're all over the, well, you're actually all over the world, not all over the UK. There's some of you in Australia, some of you in Canada, US, and all sorts of other places. I've even had France and Germany. So yeah, it was lovely, absolutely lovely. Lovely to meet you, Gail. Okay, yeah, so business-wise, update on the business. I'm starting a sewing business. I'm taking my time on it because I want to get it right, and it will take a long time to get going, and I'm okay with that. I don't have time to spend on trying to build a full-time business at the moment with work and the house, but once the house is finished I'll be able to dedicate a lot more time to it. So at the moment I've been trying things out. I'm making things for friends. I'm making mistakes, which is good. It's good to make mistakes. You wouldn't believe the amount of these little sort of poo bag sized bags that I've made an absolute mess of, not being able to quite crack it. I've looked at other people's patterns, they've not worked for me. So I'm actually designing my own. Gonna do it my way. Do it my way. Anyway, yeah, I've made one slightly bigger. This one, I got this material from Temu. I have just discovered Temu. In terms of clothes, I think it's a little bit like Shein. I'm having one of my moments again. Hang on. But the material is really reasonably priced, and it's actually quite good. So that's helpful for a profit. And these little zips with a special little heart on, different coloured zips. I think I've got something in here. Have I? I think I'm actually using this one. Yeah, I've put some little bows in here. But that is going to be one of my products that I make. I've got 2 others on the go that I've got to finish. I've just got to sew up the inner liner and then they'll be ready. I've got 2 of those. So I'm figuring, as I'm starting it, figuring out what fabrics go together, presents for people, practicing mistakes, getting an idea of what would sell and what probably wouldn't. And then what at the end of it, I'm hoping to have 2 of everything that I'm going to sell. So present wise, I've got a 50th coming up and I showed you the fabric that I'd got. So for my friend's 50th so far, I think I'm done. I think I've finished. I've done her the usual makeup bag. So that's it, finished. There. I'm calling this, because everybody, what they do online is they make a design and then they give it a name. I'm calling this Melanie because that's my friend's name who's getting it for her 50th. So that will be the Melanie. And all of this type of fabric combo, anything that I make in this fabric combo will be called the Melanie. So this will be the Melanie makeup bag. I've got a beautiful lining that goes with it in there that I've chosen. So that combo again, all will be the Melanie. I've made her a little tiny boxy bag and a wristlet. These are like keychain wristlets. I've done it padded so it really has a long lifetime to it, so it's quite sturdy. And then inside I've just been putting like little tiny presents. So in this one, still got that little lining. I've got a little temple spa, some cooling balm, a little eye cream, and she loves her lip gloss. I've got a couple of lip glosses in there. So there's some little bits in there for her. She's the one who's having the barbecue that I haven't got an outfit for. I sent all the dresses back that I did the try on. I didn't like any of them at the end of the day, so I sent them all back. I got a little cleansing bar, temple spa again, and a couple of little face masks in there. So that's one of her presents with that. And then I made something different. She's a bookworm. She loves her holidays. She goes away a lot. And this year, because it's her 50th, she's got loads of holidays all lined up. And why not? You're only 50 once. So I've made this. This is called a book sleeve. You can do book sleeves in lots of different ways. You can do them with zips. You can do them at this top end here, or you can do them so that you've got a zip up at this end, or you can have it with a flap and a little press stud. But I chose this because it's pretty. It's a little bow tie, and you can do them as well with a handle, so it's almost like a little carrier bag. And basically it's for holiday when she's by the pool. It's just a pretty thing. It's not I must have one of those because I absolutely need it. It's just a pretty thing. And I bought her a book which is a bestseller, and that's for her to take on her holiday with her, on one of her holidays, whichever one she goes on. Again, it's got the inner lining, and then I've brought the lining to the front for like a little finish, a nice little cute finish. So that's her book sleeve. I was going to do a tote bag, but I don't have time. But I got a couple of other little things. When I was in Beverley, I spotted these, and they're just so sweet. I don't think I can open them fully because they got wrapped in the shop. Yeah, I do. It's called the Lemon Tree in Beverley. No, you know what? I'm going to show you, and I'll rewrap it because I've got tissue paper and I've got sellotape. So I will open it to show you. This is so hair. I won't talk while I'm unwrapping because it's rustling. There we go. She loves pink, and she's like me, she's quite a little bit vintage and retro. So I got her this neck scarf. Hey. How lovely is that? That is totally her. So I can't wait for her to see that. Not expensive. I mean, it's just a little neck scarf, but the way that it's wrapped and folded, I think just makes it look really special. Makes it feel special. Yeah, so I'll re-wrap that. And these are so cute. I want some of these myself. So this Zelly, look at these socks. How adorable are those? She does like cute socks. She wears cute socks a lot. They've got tiny little flowers on. They are so sweet. And the little finishing touches, like they clip them together with a little metal clip, you know, rather than a little metal clip there. Rather than those awful little plastic things that you pull or snip, and you end up pulling them and pull half the thread of your socks out. But yeah, how sweet are those? Even this on here isn't a plastic thing. It's a little piece of cotton that you cut through. It's little things, you see. Little things that I like. So that's her presents. I just thought I'd get that in there while I'm showing you about what I'm making for my business. Now another one pattern. I've only got 2 designs that I'm set on at the moment. The other one is called the Kathleen. And that again is because my friend, for her 70th, she's called Kathleen. And I made her one of these makeup bags and a little tiny, it was a little smaller box bag. It was a poo bag, little doggy poo bag holder with a wristlet. And it was out of these fabrics. And she absolutely loved it. And I think they are adorable. I think that's the perfect combo. So that one will be, that's my first ever design make, that one, which is called the Kathleen. So that will be good. So that and the Melanie, those are the first sets that will go onto my Etsy site for sale when I get up and running. But I am at the moment still making mistakes. But at some point I do have to get them up on the site and for sale. But I'll let you know when they do go live, because I know some of you are interested in getting them. I do have a separate channel because I know some of you don't like sewing. I still don't know whether I should add the sewing programs into this channel and then just sort of label it very clearly as sewing, so that if you do come on it and you see the sewing, you think, don't want to watch that, you don't have to. Or if you do, you can. Or if I should have a separate dedicated channel that is specifically sewing. The way that YouTube works is very much algorithms. So those that have a very set sewing channel tend to do quite well, because that's all it is, and you attract an audience of anybody who wants sewing. They literally will go and subscribe to that channel and nothing else. So other people who might want sewing wouldn't necessarily come to my lifestyle channel, because it's not really what they want. They just want the sewing. So I've got to think that through. Mike thinks I should have sewing on this channel and just allow people to choose what they want to watch. I think I should have a separate sewing channel. We'll see. You can give your thoughts on that, please, your comments. Right, those all aside, I've got to get painting. I've got to get this cabinet done, so I best get to it. Back with a paintbrush in my hand. So I'll show you the cabinet later. If you remember, I started with what was called black sand, and it turned out to be an indigo. It was definitely blue. So this time, nothing fancy, no fancy daft names. I've gone for something by Leyland Trade, really straightforward, eggshell for wood and metal, and it's simply called black grey, which is exactly what I wanted. Oh dear. Don't we get, you know, we get pulled in by marketing. I don't know, I do. So yeah, I've got the smaller sized Harris brush. I like the Harris brushes, they're my favourite. So I've just got a small one. I'm going to take it steady. Mike said that it's quite runny, this paint. That's fine by me. I don't like gloopy. So I'm just going to take it steady. And we've got a plastic sheet down and a cloth sheet. And yeah, I'm just going to take it really careful. So you won't see this finished on this video. I think it'll take about 3, maybe even 4 coats. And that's okay. We'll get a nice finish on it. I'll bring you around and show you it once I've done a coat on this side. I'm going to do all the little intricate bits first, and then I'll show you it and what it looks like. And then we can have another chat because I've got some other stuff to tell you. Oh, gosh, it's warm. I've got some Lipton's peach iced tea. Oh, I'm kind of addicted to it. It's lovely. This is so much better. This is what I wanted, and it's going on like silk. It's lovely. It's just how you want paint to go on a piece of furniture. So I'll bring you in a little bit closer so you can have a look at the colour a bit better. Actually, I don't know if the camera's gonna... Yeah, that's picking it up. You can see it. You see it there a bit. Almost like battleship grey. Oh, sunk by battleship. It is the colour I was going for. I promise you at the end when I put the handles on, you'll be okay with it. Yeah. But anyway, it's going on nice. I think it takes a little while longer to dry than like your normal quick dry eggshell type of thing. So it'll be put a coat on and leave it to go nice and hard, and then come back to it tomorrow and do another coat. I've got plenty more to do before I finish the first coat, so I have a long way to go. But yeah, I wanted to have a chat to you anyway, so I'll just set you up properly. Sorry if I'm sweltering a little bit. It's still warm. Okay, next up. As of late, you might have been tuning into the channel and thought to yourself, is this Cheryl Life at 50 or is it QVC? What's she selling today? When I went on my health kick, I'll start painting. I went on their health kick, both me and Mike. And at the same time, we were actually offered quite a few deals. We were offered I was offered the sponsorship for the Healthy channel. We got sponsored for that and we got paid for that. And that was very nice. Thank you very much. Get Healthy UTV. And then we were offered some items. These are called collaborations, not sponsorship. So the collaboration is where an organisation, you know all this, they get in touch with you, you say, will you, if you would like this product, we'll send it to you if you'd like to do a review on it. And I've had lots of those and said no, and I've only said yes to the ones where I thought, yes, that would be quite nice, thank you. So I know from other channels and what they've said is that it often doesn't go down well with viewers. It doesn't quite work. It just happened that we got an awful lot of offers in one go, and I picked from those and chose the ones that were fitness related, healthy fitness, and that were, you know, they were relevant to what we were doing at the time. I just want to mention, I know if you didn't say because you're very polite, but you may have got a little bit fed up of them, but we get about £100 a month from YouTube. Now I know it's never really been about the money until recently when we found out that we were a little bit short. from being made redundant. We're okay. We're absolutely okay. I'm earning, I'm in a good job. I'm being well looked after. And Mike has decided to retire, and that took a lot of thinking about. But yeah, this is where we are now. This is our life. And we get a little bit of pocket money here and there from things like I've done some books that I sell, and they're bringing, I know it might not sound much, but it's about £40 a month. It pays for something. And £100 from YouTube each month, give or take. Sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes it's a little bit less. That's fine. But when you get an offer like this, you either get a product that's worth quite a fair bit of money that you can keep and use, saves you having to buy it, or you can do your review and think that was lovely, but it's not for me. I need to sell it, and you can sell. These are given to you as gifts. So it is actually, it's quite a positive thing for us to be offered something that's high value that we can either keep for ourselves or pass on and sell. Obviously you can't sell it for the full retail price, but it still pays for something, even if it's, goodness me, a tin of paint, which are expensive now. Everything's expensive now. You've got to be in queue, and you need to remortgage your house before you walk out the door. So I just wanted to explain that a little bit, that, you know, it's not meant to drive you mad, and we're not going to do loads of those. The channel isn't going down that route. It really was that we got offered the same, you know, offered a lot in the same amount of time. We're not turning into QVC. It's just one of those things. It just happened as it was. That's all I was going to say about that anyway. So yeah, I got a couple of things other to point to you. They've slipped my mind at the moment, probably because I'm concentrating on what I'm doing. This is going to take a bit of doing. This, because of all the little grooves, you've got to get into all these little tiny grooves, and what you don't want is the paint to gather and sitting there all clogged up. So I'm going really carefully to try and get it right into the nitty-gritty of those little lines without the paint staying in there and dribbling, with it being quite thin. I'll just take my time. I quite like things like this. I like projects like this. I've got some other projects coming up. One of them is I'm going to try reupholstering a chair, and if that works out, I'll be reupholstering all of the chairs. Those are chairs that originally I thought it doesn't matter what happens to them while we're renovating, because I'm going to replace them, and now I'm not going to replace them. They're very good chairs from Barker and Stonehouse. I'm going to reupholster them instead. I think I'm going to give it a go. I've seen a video on it. It didn't look that hard. I think I'm going to need a staple gun and a glue gun and a couple of other bits, but that'll be a separate video anyway. Quick other update, Mike and his Ozempic. He's had 2 shots now. He started on a very, very low dose. It was 0.25 milligrams he started on the first week. Then that got upped to half of that, another half of that, half a milligram. And today's Saturday, so on Monday, that'll go up to 0.75 milligrams. So I think, yeah. So it's a very, very slow creeping up on that with the NHS. So there's nothing to report, basically. He hasn't noticed much in the way of changing in his diet. I haven't noticed much, really. He's still craving a digestive biscuit every now and then. Yeah. Just one thing, I'm back on my potentially high cholesterol level. I remember back in Scarborough, I was having palpitations, and I went to doctors and I had an ECG. It's going back a bit, but not that far back. and the ECG was fine, and my blood pressure was high. They never did a cholesterol check though. I don't know if that's if it's related, but they never did a cholesterol check. So I don't know when I actually have had one now, because when I was here, when I moved here, I went for a check. I wasn't very well. It was actually the redundancy again, and I broke out in this horrendous rash. It just looked awful. I was blathered. It was like I had measles or something, or a little bit worse. And the doctor couldn't find any reason for it. There was no allergic reaction, and I had a load of blood tests then, and that was never picked up. I'm thinking, did they check for cholesterol? Maybe they didn't. Maybe they were just checking for allergies and something. But I thought that they did a full health check then, because my goodness me, they took enough blood out of me. So I don't know when I last had a cholesterol check, if ever. I don't ever remember, because they don't really tell you. They just say, we're taking a load of bloods, and they take 3 or 4 vials, and they go off and they do what they do, and then you don't hear anything, because they only get back in touch with you if there's anything wrong, don't they? So I don't know what this cholesterol thing is. If it is indeed that, because the optician did say it's not necessarily that. It can't say it's that. It could be. What it could be, he said, was the other thing is that sometimes it's just age. But he said, I'm a little bit young for that, 53. It's not very nice to hear, is it? Your eyes are aging. But he did say the rest of my eye health was really good. So that's positive. I'll find out. I'm just waffling now, but I will find out. I do need to go and get the full women's wellness check, I think he called it. I'm behind on other things. I do need to get, I need to have a breast exam. That's out of date. And my cervical screening, that's out of date. Got to get that done. So there's all sorts of things I need to sort myself out on. It's just, you've got to book a day off. And my days off are really precious. And you just think, oh, do I really want to spend my day off going to the doctors and having all of those checks done? But it's a must. You've got to do it, haven't you? Yeah. Yeah, just talk myself into it. Right, on with it. There it is. That is the first coat on. That is the colour I wanted. I've the feet yet to do. Obviously it is going to need another coat. The feet will do, when it's all done, I'll turn it upside down and do the feet. And I've got the drawers to do. I'm going to take those outside downstairs and do those because I'm far too hot. But this is what it's going to look like. Comments please, what do you think? Obviously it's wet, so it'll look really glossy at the moment. It will dry into a nice eggshell. I'm really pleased with it. I think it's going to look incredibly smart, and you wait till you see it with the handles on. So that video was all about me really. All about what I'm doing, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.